Alright, hey y'all, it's Pizza Hulk. I'm back here in the Long Dark today. We're back here in our Pilgrims journey, and Episode 3, basically where we left off, kind of. No, position-wise, we're about standing in the same place, but there's actually been a slight time jump of about 9 days. We were on day 9-ish when we left, and now we're on day 18. It might have been like day 10 or 11, I don't know. But the reason for the time jump is in the last episode, it was a long episode. 5 hours long, just under 5 hours. I wasn't going to have much time to broadcast, and I still don't. I'm doing the best I can, you guys. But I have a little time before I make supper tonight. So I said, let me shoot out something today. And this is what felt fun, like I wanted to do right now. But I did a little work, a little, like I said, a little time jump, but you didn't miss anything. I haven't explored anywhere else yet. I haven't gone anywhere new or anything. I've basically been here, or at least in the area for the last 9 days. And what time is it? About noon. I can show you a little bit of what I did. I'm saying I don't feel too bad. I don't. You guys, you really didn't miss too much. But I had some food that I wanted to get cooked, and I wanted to get a bunch of it cooked so I could get my cooking skill up. So I spent an entire day and some change, like a day and a half, doing this. There was a day and a half. I hope you're getting the idea that I am. Is that a ptarmigan over there? Please be. I think it is. Oh, it moved. Yeah, oh yeah. It's weird. It's like after your first initial encounter with them over here, it's like you'll find a whole flock of them, but then when you come back, it's almost always just one, sometimes two. But if I get this ptarmigan, we're going to do something cool with it. That is for sure. Oh, he's right there too. Now the problem with this little setup here is the terrain. There's a lot of little hills and divots that can bounce your rock. So you want to try to be as accurate as you can be. Definitely not like that. I wasn't even close. Oh well. Yeah, I just sucked on that. I don't know what. I gotta get my rock. Anyway, I've got a little insulation I can work with. But yeah, I spent a whole long bit of time going out there and chopping wood. And then I built a fire. And then I stayed up all night cooking everything I could get my hands on. Teas, coffees, and meat. In the last episode, we found the bunker in the western access of the lake back there in that corner, and it was full. We lucked out, and the first bunker we checked out is a stuffed bunker out of the 9. So 9 bunkers, 3 have a good amount of loot. I just happened to luck out and get one that had a good amount of loot. So, as promised, I snuck back up there and got the loot that I had left, most of it anyway, and brought it back here. So that was like a day and some change. Then I did some organization, you guys. Now you see this little pot out here? This pot is to remind me that I need one up here at my other base, the moose base, but I decided to leave it here under this icicle to pretend like it was catching water. But my porch is clear, you guys. Look, it's not covered in dead animal bits. Yay! Alright, so I got a nice proper fire area started out here. I've got the rock cache. If we open it up, this will help tell me another story. So we killed a moose down by the dam, and I had mentioned that I needed to get up there at some point and get some of the meat down here. So I also spent 2 days, I think it was at least, walking back to the dam to pick up this meat and the moose hide, which I brought here. Now you see we're doing all right. We got a decent amount of food. Got a little deer meat to cook. Plenty of rabbit for rabbit pies. Ptarmigan for broth or whatever. And a good amount of steaks. I was going to say I could probably use a little meat. Grab some venison. But yeah, I gathered up 50 rocks and made a rock cache. I gathered a bunch of firewood and set up a second fire area outside. You want to keep your broth outside. It's going to last a lot longer. And we've got a bunch of steaks in here. You can see we got plenty of moose meat from that run. And I killed another deer. What else did you do? Well, I did some sewing. Now, don't worry, we'll get to do all of these things. But if you look down there at my warmth bonus, we're now up to 50 and 22. I sewed up the cow with Chan. I don't really know how to say that. Sweater. It is heavy. It's 2.2 pounds. We're going to talk about weight in this episode a little bit. I sewed up the second expedition Parker we've got there. And I mean, just look at the warmth bonus. It's over 14 degrees just for these two jackets that together weigh right around 7 pounds. And then we got the toques going. Basically, I went and I got we switched up the thick wool sweater instead of the thin. I got my bad socks and underwears cleaned up here. And basically tried to do a repair on everything except the boots, because I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And I mean, at 88%, they're still basically the best boots in the game. I'm fine. I'll get around to it. So there was sewing day. Yay! Which included ripping up curtains, which took a good while. And a bunch of hats and socks. But I will show you something cool. I think, anyway. I also read some books. And really I've just been bumming around the house getting stuff ready. Check out the floor, you guys. It's empty. Yeah, well, almost empty. We got a little deer hide here for our feet when we come in the door. At least that's my little role play there. But I decided to clean my place up a little bit and get all the stuff I usually leave laying around here in this central area put away, and to show you guys a little something you can do to help with storage in a base that maybe doesn't necessarily have a ton. And there's a good amount in here. There actually is. But eventually, if you're really going to have a lot of stuff, you're going to run out of room in these drawers. So having a way to set things up around your base in a way that sort of gives you functionality, right? But also the ability to use your storage for specific things or random things, or however you want to do it. But we've got a little food area set up here just to kind of show you. You know, I've got some of the heavier stuff set out and just some things to show that you could set up a little area with a bunch of cans. We've got some cans over here, pork and beans and tomato soups, and a can opener here. Now we got a bunch on this shelf, but you know, we can just grab this one and use it if we need to. I also set up a little system. These over here on the right, I don't want to eat, or they are close to being gone. The ones on the left, no, it's backwards. The ones on the left are not to eat. The ones on the right, I need to eat soon. And with the tomato soups, I did pretty much the same thing, but I showed that I could turn the cans in a particular manner so that anything facing that way is not worth eating right now. I don't have the cooking skill to eat it. This one is. So there's a couple ways to set up and make sure you're eating safe food. You know, you can always keep this stuff around even after it goes bad. Once you get to cooking level 5, you'll be able to eat anything. So if you want food for later, just leave it on the shelf. But you don't want to accidentally give yourself food poisoning either. Just a few waters, just a few things to show that I could turn this area into a nice big storage area for lots of food and teas. That's what we got over here. We got our teas and coffees. And save these drawers for what they have in them now. Just a bunch of junk. So you can break this chair down and get a little more space and have that whole corner as well. And then I thought I'd start sticking some industrial type stuff in here. I stuck some of the fuel in here just to get it off the shelf. And then, yeah, like I said, we used a few hides. We get the moose hide here, completely cured, by the way, ready to go. So you guys don't have to wait 3 episodes for me to get to that point. But I got some of my tools and things laid out on the table. A little bit of role play. We got a lantern and a tea here for me. But eventually, you know, I'm gonna need more space than that. I moved all my guts and some reclaimed wood for making snares. This first aid kit is perfect for keeping, you guessed it, a bunch of the first aid I've picked up in Mystery Lake here. And a few things on the shelves just to show you. Really, I just threw that up there so you can see that there's plenty of ways to get stuff spread around your base. You know, you might hate having old Will, Bale, Ted, Fred, Jed, whatever you want to name him here, but he's 22 pounds worth of extra space that's normally not in this building. I got a clothing upstairs and some cloth and other materials put away up here. I've got these out because I just want to talk about weight at some point today. And these are all the fire logs from the bunker. I went up and got those. And just got a basic fire setup up here. Got a bunch of water. I'd like to get a lot more. But at least I got some ready to go. Yeah, I was going to say, I probably could use that and that. We got a nice cooking setup here. Got some good cans of food. Or, well, that's dog food. I got my boots at the end of the bed. Another little rug. Another little role play setup here just to make it look cool. Something you got to look at this stuff every day. Sometimes you want to look a little neater. We got the pistol by the bed ready to go. Cup of coffee. Reading some books. A little sewing area. Why not, right? My point is, use these areas to organize your stuff and give you the ability to have some room in your drawers to keep other things. Alright. There's some stuff we want to get started on, though, as soon as possible. And the first thing I really want to get going on is going to be this moose hide bag. We're going to pick it up. It weighs 11 pounds right now. Yeah. And I think it needs maybe 4 guts. And I'm not sure if it's a sewing kit thing, so we'll have a look here. And we can see each one. So here's the moose hide cloak. I talked a little bit about that in the last video, but you can see the benefits down there at the bottom. 6.3 degrees of warmth, so not too much. It's like a degree and a little bit less than what I'm wearing now. 7.2 degrees of windproofing, massive, incredible. It is a 90% rainproof, which is just, I don't think there's nothing better in the game. 20% on the guard, very nice, slows you down by 10%, not too bad comparing some of these things what they weigh. And it weighs 8.8 pounds, so I think a wolf hide coat is 6.6 pounds. And the bear skin is 11. So there's good merit for getting it, but this is where it's going to really come in handy for us right now, and that's the moose hide satchel. All right, so I can use a sewing kit. Good, that'll speed things up tremendously. And yeah, there we go. I thought I had one that was already kind of beat up. We'll grab those two. Fill up my belly. I need more water than that. Yoink. And there you go. Alright, let's get her going here. So, 10 hours with the sewing kit. I'm assuming with needle and thread, it's 16 hours. So, we're going to use the sewing kit. And we're going to hit the little triangle. If you look down there, it says switch at the bottom right. We're going to switch. And you see it says 0.5 hours. I want to work longer than that. I'm going to go for 3, just because I know I can pretty much get that done before the sun goes down. I just wasn't exactly sure where the sun was in the horizon. Alright. So we got 3 out of that. I've still got some time left, but it's going to get dark. So unless we get an aurora, I'm going to have to stop at some point. But I'm still going to go ahead and I'm going to set it for 7 hours. And then when it gets too dark, it'll just stop sewing. There you go. And we have just a tiny bit over 5 hours left. And by getting that done tonight, then I can do that in the morning. Hopefully get up around noon or get out the door by noon. All right. Now eventually you'll probably be able to learn to move around here in the dark. I can do it, but it's not exactly the most exciting video now, is it? Oh wait, no, there's something else I want to make tomorrow too. Alright, there's 2 things. And we'll get out the door eventually. That's the nice thing about Pilgrim mode. You don't have to worry about getting any kind of negative bonus for being inside for too long. You could spend a week inside, pretty much like I've been doing here. No penalties. Let's eat. And give some rest to poor old Astrid. Just give 10 hours. Hopefully that'll top her off, I think. Okay, so in the night you heard that we had an aurora. And a lot of times what I'll try to do when I'm crafting is I'll break it up, the sleep, sleep for 2 hours. If there's no aurora, sleep for an hour. No aurora, sleep for 2 hours. But that, luckily, it ended up was a very quick aurora. I wouldn't have been able to get much more done anyway. Although it's still technically saying there's still an aurora. Alright. I don't have a book on me. Unusual. So, oh, there we go. Now this little computer, if you click on it, I don't know if it's going to let me do it. Is it this one? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, you can turn the radio on and get a little message from this during Aurora, but it's saying it's already done. It's hard to tell. How am I getting the same drawer over and over again? That's embarrassing. Maybe I was aiming lower than I thought. That must have been it. I grabbed 5. Oh. What else was I looking for? A book, right? Let's see. Okay, so the archery book and the rifle book are both viable. The other one is just... I could use it to make a fire. Alright, so the sun should be above the bottom of there. Yeah, we're plenty good now to go ahead and just get back to work. You know the drill, folks. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fully recharge, and then I'm going to just go ahead and finish it. Whatever, the 5 hours and point oh whatever left, I'm getting that done. Hopefully the sewing kit will last. I might have to, it might stop because the sewing kit might die. Nope, 1% left on the sewing kit. Look at that. And that, my friends, is what it takes to get a moose-hide bag. That's why I didn't feel too bad about chopping wood and making steaks and ripping up curtains, because that's the payoff in the end. Alright, so we switch over to here. We got our accessory areas. Now, I've talked about this being the outside layer. You can see you can see the snow pants. If we take those off, you can see the combat underneath. Right? Put them back on, they go on top. Same thing. We take these jackets off. We got the Cowichan on top. Take that off. We've got the thin or the thick wool sweater underneath. So, the reason I want to bring up the layers is because, weirdly enough, and I always like to say this, look, I didn't make the game. I didn't make the mechanics. They did. So if you put your moose-hide satchel here, and quickly if you run over here, you can see that we now have an 88-pound carry weight as opposed to 77. So we started out with 66. We get the well-fed bonus up, took us up to 77, and then now the moose-hide bag has got us up to a full 88. That being in this slot, the game counts that as an interior slot. So, if you have something over here, like an ear wrap, then you can place that in this slot, and when you're out and about and it's snowing, this does not get wet until this gets completely soaked through. It acts like it's in the second layer. So having an ear wrap, the improvised insulation, or for some reason, I mean, it goes in this slot, right? Crampons, and I think the gun holster also goes in that slot. So I assume that will protect it as well. So always keep the moose-hide bag here on the inside slot. If you don't have anything, it's going to get wet and it's going to get beat up, and you're going to have to make another one eventually, right? Well, sooner than you would normally would. If you got something that can protect it, make sure you got that thing on over it, because this is the most important piece of equipment, I think, in the game, right? So that's just having that extra 11 pounds is going to change everything you've got going on. But that's all it takes, man. And just standing at that table. All right, so I grabbed up some scrap metal and some cloth, and that is the other part of the formula for our success in prepping here for our exploration around not just Mystery Lake, but also around what is it called? The Northern Territory or whatever. I can't remember the name. Oh my god. There we go. Map. There should be another part of the world. Anyway. Here in the long dark. Alright, blueprints. We want crampons. They're down here in this stuff. Or maybe I make them on my person. Let's see. That's probably what it is. Where is this thing? Improvised crampons. Yeah, it says it needs a workbench. Oh, 2 cured leather. Okay. Probably upstairs. Doesn't explain why I didn't see it. I guess I just didn't see it. Actually, it should go in this drawer. Two pieces of leather. I'll find it. I don't think they take too long. Oh, there it is. Okay. What is it? 4 hours. Doesn't look like I can use any tools to speed it up. I'll grab some just in case. Maybe it'll show up when I pick them up. It did. All right. So we can shave off 2 hours by using the quality tools. If it's 2 hours or less, you don't really get an option to break it up. And now we have the improvised crampons. Now, while I'm here, and I've got the extra gut, I'll make a little fishing lure. And I'll have that for later. I'll toss it in this drawer. You can see we got some more hook and line in here. And then, like you said, if you want, you can... Now, at 1%, there's really not much use for this. But you can find a nice place to stick it, or you can just stick it somewhere out of the way. Or you can use it in your next build. It'll break immediately, and you can toss it in a drawer. And if you toss something that's ruined, that's I don't know, this can opener in a drawer, it'll disappear. Little steak. The amount of food you actually have to eat and drink in this game is it's not believable at all. We're not here for believability necessarily all the time. So I'm going to pop out and grab some steak. And then we'll go over the crampons here. Might use them tomorrow. I don't really need to. I found a different way up to the bunker. But there is a second rope climb. All right. So if you look here, you can see our crampons are up here in the accessories area. And we switch over. If you watch the boots at the bottom, yoink, you can see them. And then if you pop out here, it's going to say benefit sure footing. So not only am I going to be able to climb ropes quicker and climb down ropes more quickly, right? I will be sturdier on sketchy terrain. So when I was shimmying down with all my loot from the bunker, if I'd had those on, it would have kept me from getting a sprain. Well, it would have helped. And I think there's something else. There's another benefit about them. I think when you're wearing crampons, you learn, like, so let's see. All right. So right now my sprint is 65%. You see? So when I took the crampons off, my sprint went up to 50%. So it definitely has a reduction. But they do count as some protection. But what I wanted to point out about the crampons is if you look at the waterproofing, because they're made of metal, I guess, and leather, they're 100% waterproof. That means that if you put this in this slot and you walk around in your crampons, this is never going to get wet. This is 20% waterproof. It's eventually going to get wet and soak through and get to the bag. So wear this. If it's really bad, if you're in a blizzard, you're crossing a lot of map and you're just soaking wet, you can switch these once your ear wrap gets to that point that it's soaked, and then still protect your moose hide bag. You're going to lose the warmth and the windproofing, but believe me, it's worth it. I can't believe, I might actually use those crampons. I will climb up just to show you that it's a little quicker. We'll blow a little bit of fatigue, but I got a few coffees made. Oh, and we look here. We can start checking out the skills. So a little bit of carcass harvesting was done in the last episode, but Now it's up to level 3. I'm up to a 25% reduction in meat harvesting times. Fantastic. Less time exposed out in the elements to animals. You can harvest 50% frozen carcasses by hand. That can come in very helpful, especially on interloper. And then 10% reduction in hide or gut harvesting times. That's the newest thing. So good to go there. Now the big thing is going to be the cooking. The cooking is all new. I was trying to keep things from level 3, or just going up. I was trying to keep things going up one level, but it really just benefits you to get cooking to level 5 as soon as possible. So the first level was 10% calories from any cooked food item. Level 2 was no calories lost when smashing open cans. So now I don't need a can opener with me. I don't need that little bit of weight if I don't want it. And cooking times reduced by 10% was level 3. Along with that, it increased another 5% to my calories, bringing it up to 15%. So now we're getting 15% more calories from anything I cook, no loss from the cans, and the reduced time for cooking. We're still working on fire starting. We're just a couple fires away. We might even hit that in this episode. The rifle firearm went up. Now, again, it doesn't start with anything, so we got 2 out of this. So you get critical hit chance now is increased by 10%. And the reason I wanted to go ahead and get that done, and I just read a book to get up there, was the 2 condition per repair action. I'd found a gun cleaning kit, and instead of getting like 4 points of repair, I could get 6. So, mending. I just was sewing stuff when I got this one. I mentioned before, mending I think is super important in the game. You definitely want to get it up to level 2, I think, as quickly as possible. And then I personally advocate going to level 3. I'm trying to kind of stay focused on that a little bit. Because after you get level 3, pretty much any time you sew, it's going to be 100% successful. And you get, I think, a little more repair condition out of it. So every time you sew, it's a little bit faster. It's pretty much guaranteed. And you're getting like 10% more repair out of the repair. So level 3 is bomb. I always try to shoot for it. And same thing with the revolver. Just read a book. I haven't even pulled the trigger yet on this thing. But the recoil is now reduced by 25%. And most importantly, again, the 2 condition per repair, so I can fix that gun up a little easier. And nothing with gunsmithing. Gunsmithing is sort of a late game interloper thing anyway. Or stalker mode, more than likely. You can make bullets for fun if you'd like to in Pilgrim mode, or if maybe you're doing a super long playthrough, but it's probably not going to come up too often. Like I said, late game thing. Well, we got a little bit of light left. Now, one thing to remember, if the weather's all right, and we'll start eventually, I'm going to start giving you some hints and tips on moving beyond Pilgrim. And some of the things you need to watch out for and habits that you might develop in Pilgrim that will kill you and any of the other difficulties. But we got a clear day. There's no wolves around. It's warm enough. So we're going to use the light from outside, and we're going to read outside. I get 25 hours in this book. It's going to give me a lot of skill. It'll tell you on the book. It says, yeah, the skill will go up by 10 points.
The sun is setting. It's going to get a lot colder soon.
Now, it could get too dark, but I don't think it... Well, it did. All right. Oh, it's foggy. But what I want to point out is on a clear night, particularly if you're in one of those indoor-outdoor spaces I've talked about, where you've got a shack with a hole in the roof, or you're in a cave, as long as it's bright enough outside, the moon's out, there's an aurora, you can read and sew and do other things you can't normally do in the dark if you're outside or in an indoor-outdoor kind of space. But Astra's tired, and we actually have the ability, and I talked about this too, I've talked about this before, getting her on a schedule when we can that sort of fits what we're doing. And I want to go explore a bit tomorrow. We got our new bag, right? So let's go put some stuff in it. I didn't really grab any food. What did a candy bar? Forgot that's what I went outside to do. That's alright. We'll probably wake up, I don't know, probably like 4 in the morning, we'll say. A couple hours before the sun comes up, I would think. Yep, let's see. Gonna get rid of them tools. Another thing I did some sharpening. So you can look at the rifle now, and you can see that I got it up to 94%. If I do one cleaning with the gun kit, it's getting, like I said, 6% now, so it'll be back up to 100. This gun is one of the newer rifles they've introduced in the game. It's a specialized rifle. They have a plain rifle. I prefer this rifle over that one because the plain rifle fully loaded weighs 9 pounds. And this rifle fully loaded weighs just a tiny bit over 7 pounds. So 2 pounds doesn't seem like much, but believe me, it makes a big deal in the long dark. So I pick it, but the only problem is it's more fragile, you can see. So it's going to wear down much faster than a regular rifle or some of the other specialized rifles that are actually made to last even longer. So I choose that. All right, I can't read. That sounds. I never learned to read. We got. Trying to think of things I can do in the dark. Honestly, nothing that I can think of right now. We'll just kill some time till the sun gets over. Right about there. There we go. Put an hour in the book. Depending on the situation, you know, if I'm out and about with a book, I try to use it like if I'm cooking food, water, etc. If I'm at my base and just doing a bunch of base stuff. Don't worry about it. Guts. I'm gonna leave them out a little bit. I'll probably end up using them here shortly because I just remembered. I can make a travois. Where is it? All right. Workbench, 4 cured maple saplings, 1 deer hide, and 2 cured guts. I'm not going to make this right now. We'll get it done before the episode's end. But it'll weigh 2.2 pounds. It'll be in my inventory. And what I can do is I can bring it out and load it up with stuff up to 165 pounds worth of gear. Actually. And drag it behind me. And they can't take it everywhere. But that's a huge bonus, especially if you're in a place, let's say, so when I was coming, well, actually, you know what? Yeah. We're going to go explore right now. I wonder how long it takes to make. It's just some sticks and a deer hide, right? I might grab it because I can think of a way I might be able to use it. And it's snowing. Maybe it'll stop snowing. Right? But I'm kind of thinking like, all right, what if I was getting ready to walk out here and go to a different region? I'd want the crampons, I'd want the backpack, I'd probably want the travois too. So, deer hide. Four cured maple saplings. That leaves me one to make a bow with, and hopefully pick up some more while I'm out. One travois. It takes a knife, so no really way to speed that up. But it's done. Again, so it had 2.2 pounds. Looks like this. Uh, I don't think I can deploy it in here. Yeah. Now we'll bounce outside. I need food and water too. I want to keep that well-fed bonus for as long as possible. It's okay if you lose it, but it would sort of negate the 11 pounds of the moose hide bag. Or I'm sorry, I'd still have the moose hide bag for an extra 11 pounds. All right, so we are heading out. With about 20 pounds of carry weight, or 20 pounds of extra stuff I can add. I could leave the rifle. Remember, it's pilgrim mode, and honestly, I would recommend leaving the rifle. I've got meat cooked. I've got meat to cook. I've got junk food to eat. I've got tons of food. You wouldn't have it to defend yourself in a moose issue, but just stay away from the moose. You wouldn't have it in if you had to deal with it in a bear issue. Just stay away from the bear. Don't throw rocks at wolves. Give the bear some space, you know. But get around the map, and I mean, like I said, I found Vaughn's rifle. It is here in Mystery Lake where you have the opportunity to find it. But if you have a regular rifle, it's going to be 9 pounds plus any ammo you carry with you. The ice here is safe, by the way. All the way around every spot. And if you have a regular rifle, I mean, like I said, 7 pounds, 9 pounds, that's a lot of extra carry weight. Or, if you have the pistol, and you want to be able to take an opportunistic shot and maybe get some pistol score, take the pistol, it's 3.3 pounds. Probably a little more loaded. Alright, we made it out to our little first ice hut here. We're going to use some charcoal and get it on the map. Show you guys where we're at. There we go. So we got a nice little bit of mapping done. And basically we started back here. I'm actually going to end up back there today. I'll try to get it mapped for you guys. Got a little more charcoal now. And I'll look in the stoves in some of these places and see if I can get some more. Yeah. Alright, we got a can of peaches. Remember, it doesn't matter what condition it's in. I just want to cook it for the cooking score. So we're going to take it. Alright, nothing wrong with matches, right? Alright. Have a quick look around, look underneath here. Sometimes they stick little things under there. We got some work gloves. And ice fishing hole, we'll get to it another day. But I'll teach you guys all about the ice fishing. That's why I went ahead and made that lure. Be careful out here. A lot of times wolves patrol. Fine. Right through there. Back there. And they love this house. They love this little ice hut. They love it so much. I'm surprised they're not there. It's a beautiful clear day, so I can show you some of the other stuff. This back corner here is where you can find a bear. And also you can find wolves. Now that's the western access. That's where the rope climb is. We went up to the bunker. You can just make it out in the distance there. There's the rope climb. But you can find deer and wolves back here. Not usually at the same time. So yeah. Oh, all along the lake, I've talked about how many rocks you can get here to make rock caches. There's probably 50 rocks just around the perimeter of this lake. Oh, we got a door. Ice fishing hut with a door is a good thing. Keeps you a little bit warmer. You can use the potbelly stove.
I think I can use this.
I don't think it can blow out a potbelly stove, even a blizzard, but the door will keep you warmer. Oh, there you go. See, a little tinder plug underneath. Make sure you peek. Good reminder, pizza. Oh. And that's pretty much how you're going to learn gunsmithing. For the most part. So if you eventually do, a lot of people just burn these books and never worry about it. But if you want to learn, I say grab all of these and read these at some point. I've gotten my skill level up to level 4 before I even made a bullet. Alright, so home is back that way. You can see the Canadian flag flying there a little bit, I think. And here's a little island out here. And it's good for cattails. There's a lot of cattails out here. So you can get some 150 calories and something to start a fire with. And sometimes there's dead bodies. But it's a clear day and there's no crows. So there's no dead bodies. I hear some over by that house. All right. So we hit those two. Now, a lot of times I go the back way like I went to the western access because it's a little safer. You can get past the wolves. They're not back there in that little corridor. So if you're playing above Pilgrim mode, take the little path behind the camp office instead of walking out here on the ice like that. And you can get back here. Now, like I said, the wolves could be back here, though. Oh, I hear them. Another place they can spawn is behind this big giant rock. So, I think they may be there. Alright, so let's talk cabins. So these cabins out here, and anywhere on the map, anywhere, any town, on any map, there's going to be places where some of these houses, cabins type places are going to show up, and a lot of times you never know what you're going to get, right? So here's 3, 2 are broken, burned down, or whatever, right? 1 is standing. There's the wolf. Hey, Wolfie boy! All 3 of these could be standing. two of these could be up, one could be down. You get it? So you never know. It's random. And it really doesn't, I don't think it has anything to do with, like, hello, difficulty. I've had interloper, level stuff where I had tons of houses to look in. And Pilgrim mode runs where there's nothing to look at. So that is some serious RNG love. It depends. These houses are great. They're all kind of basically the same. The layout is going to be, variations of what you see here. And amounts of things that you can loot. We got a nice little spot, but what they all have in common is they usually have some of these chairs, and I've talked about these before. It's a great way to get cloth, especially here in Mystery Lake that doesn't have a lot of cloth. But you do need a tool to break it down. You need a hatchet. And a lot of books. And books are, particularly when you're trying to get your fire skill up, a great thing to have. So having a big pile of books in your pocket is not a bad idea.
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
However, they weigh over a pound each. Always look in this little crate. We found some dog food. Actually, dog food I can eat. It's got calories and it gives you hydration. But in these little crates, a lot of times you can maybe find a book of matches or some accelerant or something like that. All right, and so you go, nah, there's really not much in here, and I kind of agree. But again, if you break down the chair, you can break down the shelf. We can break down the table. This chair, and most of them have this scarf in there. So there's, if you want to use the knife and dull the knife, you can. If you want to use your hand, 4 minutes, 6 minutes, whatever, just to get a piece of cloth, not a big deal. So if you got a bunch of these, if all these cabins are standing, you've got a lot of cloth, wood, reclaimed wood, Still, you can make snares with it. You can cook with it. Couldn't speak. Words hard. All right, so there's two ways to go to the next set of cabins. It's cloudy. I mean, that's what fog is, right? We can follow the edge of the lake here, or you can kind of go this back way. We'll just go the back way. If you want to pick up rocks, follow the edge of the lake. If you want sticks, go this way. But we know the wolf, I was getting ready to say, we know the wolf likes to hang out back here too. So it'd probably be better to skirt the lake in this instance. Lots of firewood. I don't think there's rabbits back in this part, but there are rabbits nearby in the western axis. But I like coming here. You hear the crows. There's usually a dead guy here. And again, he's usually here on almost any difficulty. It's not a guarantee. Don't come here an interloper and be like, where's the dead guy pizza? I don't know. But sometimes you can find tools laying around here as well. So you might find a hatchet nearby him or a knife. It could be an improvised tool as well. But we've got all three houses up here. So kind of a loss on the other spot, but a win on this place. And see, I mean, they're lake cabins. They're supposed to look alike. I don't know if you've ever been camping in a lake cabin. I have, and that's pretty much what you get. They all, some have a bigger kitchen, maybe.
For anything.
Some have like a master little suite for your parents. Some just have a big bunch of bunk beds. I'll grab those boots. Now they're heavy, but leather, again, is a pretty good commodity that I want to keep.
This'll come in handy.
And I don't have much of it right yet, so... I'm good on the spray paint for a while. Now, you don't have to get everything. And remember, I'm not going to be breaking all this stuff down. It'll still be here. So, I don't necessarily need to get every single book on this run.
Well, this stuff will come in handy.
Oh, there. But if I'm going to be coming back anyway, it's okay. If you leave something really important behind, you just don't have the weight to carry it. You, excuse me, you can go to the notes. Make yourself a note. Middle cabin, back of Mystery Lake. Left parka. Or you can even write lots of books and cloth. Here we go. We got a note left behind. I was gonna, and the matches got wet. Oh no, a dull knife, and something like that. Yeah. Backstory, you guys. Feel free to pause that at any time and read it. All right. Wow, we got some food in here. We got some crackers. You in any good shape?
Probably useful.
Ooh, I should probably eat those today. A little fuel. Now, see, this is worth coming back for, I think. But I'm not carrying it today. Travoy or no Travoy.
I'll take it.
The Firelock. It weighs 4.4 pounds, but I think it gives you like 2 hours and some change in fire. Yeah. I'm basing it off, like, I think the highest fire skill.
Never know.
Again, not going to eat it now, but I can cook it for cooking score. %, not too bad. More cloth. More goodies. That one had a cabinet. Like I said, the layout, it's a little different. See how we're doing. I'm assuming it's still froggy outside. So again, in Pilgrim mode, we're going to have a low change of weather. Which means it's probably going to be foggy for the rest of the day. I don't mind fog too much. It generally means it's not that cold. It's not windy and it's not snowing. It does mean the bears and the wolverines are harder to find, but you know. Grab that soda. Lots of books. Fur is also a little heavier than cedar, but it burns longer. Look at all these books. Man, I really...
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
We've talked about the thin wool sweater. Good one to have. Now, you may be wondering, you're like, didn't you even just show us at the beginning of the video a thin wool sweater just sitting on a... Yeah. Yes, we did. Oh, hey. What's up, little backpack? What you got? 100% crackers! But I've talked about that sewing skill, and if I can get enough cloth together, which I'm going to plan to do, I'm going to do some sewing of things I don't even need. Just to get that sewing score up to level 3. Sew it. Stick it in a drawer. Rip it up and turn it back into cloth someday. So we're going to stick here to the right. So basically, we've already been to that one. That's the little island. And home, if we walk straight, would be straight that way. Alright. So we came to the cabins that are over there, came around this rock, and we're going to keep going this way, and we're going to keep this ridge line here to our right. And yes, I know there's another fishing cabin. We'll get to it. Sounds like the Wolfie boys are out on the ice now. Maybe they needed to load in. But we got one more house and one more fishing cabin stuck way back here. This is the spot I would want. Tucked away in the back. A little more woods would be nice, but what are you going to do? Got all this fishing to yourself. Alright. So here we've got a scrawled message. You guys, I can't stomach the things, but plenty of MREs down there in the dam. The broken window room. So at the very back room in the dam, where I've already been twice, there's a little box on the ground. It looks like it's outside. It's not. It's in the bottom of the dam there. And as long as I remember to pick this key up, I can go back and open it, and I can get a bunch of MREs. Now, I don't know what you get in Interloper because, or even if it's there, because you can't, they don't have MREs in Interloper, so. Let's search the trunk.
Hope nobody needs
Ooh.
this anymore.
Again, not bad backup kind of clothing. I probably, normally in Pilgrim mode, I would leave that just to conserve some weight. Because I already have one in decent shape. And it's not even necessarily that important at this point because...
Looks like this has been here a while.
I've got 2 expedition parkas and a... whatever the better red windbreaker is. But it is a spare piece of cloth. Alright, back to, if I can get out of here, the fishing cabin, and you can see a bunch of the rocks I was talking about. Like I said, there's easily, I would say, a rock cache's worth of rocks just around the lake. And lots of cattails for calories and starting fires. Luckily, one of the books I read was a fire skill book, and I'm not too far from level 2. That'll make starting fires a little easier. What do we got here? We got a flare shell, piece of cedar, piece of reclaimed, hook, and this is what I was looking for. Alright, so generally speaking, I think it's always here, and I think on any difficulty, you want to find this book right here, The Frozen Angler.
This will come in handy.
There's a few of them planted around on various maps. I think there's one in Pleasant Valley you can get. Maybe Coastal Highway, but I'm not sure about that one. Anyway, if you read this book, before you ever go fishing, you're going to have much better luck with your fishing because it's going to reduce your line breakage right from the get-go. And that really is going to help you have a much less frustrating time while fishing. So if I can, if possible, I always try to get that before I ever put a line in the water. Fishing skill goes up quickly at first, but I think it's probably that it and sewing are the skills that take the longest to get to level 5. I mean, you could say smithing as well. But, I mean, like I said, they put a lot of smithing books around the world for that reason. Usually I can get up close to level 4 before I ever even want to think about doing any smithing. Check our last ice hut here. They're big on peaches out here on the lake. Spare hunting knife. Not much else. And another flare shell. Alright, I'm going to show you guys a different way to get to the dam. And what we're going to do, so we came from that back little area, went to that shack, came to this shack once again. If I want to go home, it's that way. If we walk up here a little further, I think we should be able to... Or I'm sorry, I'm doing this wrong. I got turned around, yeah! Awesome. Alright. Reorient it. There's the back area we came from where I said the bear lives. There's those fishing huts. That's the western access. That is the way home. So when we came on the ice, that's the first fishing hut we walked to. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to come up this way, around this bend here. And instead of walking straight that way to home, we're going to go to the right. So I'm curious to see if I deploy the travois. Wait, where is it? All right. Deploy. Alright. And I throw a bunch of junk in there. I'm really hoping not to go grab all this stuff back. There we go. Alright. Okay. There we go. Alright. We're travoying. Oh, that's a lovely sound on the ice, isn't it? Anyway, I wanted to know if I would move any quicker. I think maybe I am. I apologize so much. I will be off the ice here soon. What is this? Open map. Use what? Oh, drop. Okay. want to get this back area a little bit. I kind of forgot to get this spot. I'll have to get that another day. Oh, it's already at 99%. I mean, dragging it across the ice, yeah. Well, this thing doesn't corner very well, I can tell you that. Is this better? I guess. Got a deer carcass here. Now, over here somewhere should be a rope climb. Maybe it's over that way. What's up, Bun Buns? There it is. Alright. So there's 2 rope climbs. You can maybe find some loot up there. Just make sure you have the crampons. You've got plenty of fatigue. Like, you want to be here first thing in the morning. Or whatever. Make sure you got plenty of coffee. Or a, some rosehip pies. I'm pretty happy with the Travoy. I mean, I was wondering, like, so my fatigue is down, and so my carry weight is down. So I thought I'd drop my weight to the point where my carry weight is in the, if you look over to the left there, right, we're still in the white there. We got to get down below 76.93 pounds before I slow down again. So I don't think I'm going at full speed hauling the Travoy here. But I definitely feel like it's going faster than if I was just walking with all this stuff. There we go. We got that middle part opened up. Now this is going to be the back area with the hunter stand, and this is like the path that comes up to where the trailers are. I wondered if maybe the fatigue drain would be higher, but I don't think it is. Anyway, right there is where we started, where I just mapped. That was the starting point. Yeah, I'm pretty much converted on the Travoy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the trailers. I'll spend the night here. And then load up a bunch of stuff into the Travoy for tomorrow. Fill myself up as close to 88 pounds as well. And head off with a full, steam, or full head of fatigue there. Hey, little deer. There we go. Alright. So you can see the lake, and remember, we didn't get this back area, but that's that back area. But we've got the full kind of view of how... So we started like right in here, and we hit the little hunting stand area, and then came up here to the trailers. And that's where our multiple map markers are. That's the trailers. And then we hit the hydro dam and walked down here. Now there's Oh, and we worked our way over to the logging camp. Came down this way. Now, Trapper's Cabin, we didn't quite get mapped. I didn't have any charcoal, but we do have this little area thanks to the memento hint. Whoops. Y'all, I don't even know how long it's going to take for me to just walk away from this thing and leave all my goods somewhere. How many hours? It won't even, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to pretend like it's going to be like, yeah. Hey guys. Very useful so far. And exactly what it should be used for, I think. You know, you want to get... Well, I didn't want to hit that very well. You don't want to get to the point where you're slogging. And that's a really great thing to have. You can see my fire left over from my moosing. But we got deer in here, and I wanted to point that out. Like I said, the animals sort of rotate. So we've had a wolf in here, we've had a moose in here, and now we've got the deer in here. And I wanted to point out that the birch bark has dropped a few more pieces, or at least one more piece. So you can get those areas kind of marked in your mind where to check from time to time. You want to get back in there and look and see if you can use it to kind of farm those things. There we go. There's another piece. Oh, it's a little bigger too. So these can get ridiculously big, like 3 or 4 feet long. I don't really know why it does it sometimes. It just does. Alright. Oh, look at the trail! Dope. Oh, man. Alright, this thing is really great. I'm going to see how much I can throw in there. And drag it back. I see it's wearing down pretty quickly, though. 5% already. That seems like a lot.
It's dusk, so that can't be far behind.
I mean, when I think of some of the treks that I make in this game, and that should be able to take this through large pieces of, like, what if you cross some Pleasant Valley or something, you know? Does it take a whole travoy just to go back and forth to move a base there? I don't know how I feel about that. I guess you just leave it here. All right, so we've got 25 pounds. All right, yeah. I'm crazy curious as to how this is going to work. If you were here the last time, you can see that I've got a few things set up here. I've turned it into a bit more of a camp. Still don't have a fire down on this side. I might actually start a quick one. It's not too windy. As the wind picks up. Alright, but I talked about, you know, you want to try to shove this fire in here as best you can. As far back as you can get it. That looked pretty good. If you end up not liking the placement... Oh, look. Come on. I forgot I got that. I dropped a bunch of books in that thing. But I've got extra books. I'm excited. I'll explain when I can back away in a minute. Remember, we used the torch just in case we fail. We don't have to use extra matches. But Let's jump in here and grab a couple steaks. And they can at least be cooking while I'm talking. There we go. Alright. So as you can see, I've got a wind block coming from this way on the trailer. A little bit of a wind block coming from this way from the wheel, the stump, and the other broken spool here. And then I've got a little bit of a blockage going on with my rock cache. So it's not windproof by any means. It's not even close to the one that's over by the camp office. But it works pretty well. I am beyond excited about these tracks, though.
I think I need to lie down.
Astrid, way to ruin the moment there. Anyway, what can I do? I got an hour, right? So might as well read my book. Alright, there's dinner. There's breakfast. The wind's doing alright. Nope. There we go. That's a smaller steak. I don't want to mess with it. It's fine. Couple extra sticks. Read the book. There we go. Nice. And then next time I come here, there'll be a little cooked meat as well. Doing all right on the water. Poor Astrid. So that little symbol I painted on the door, it's just a little symbol that means a hunting area. And I'll show you on the map here real quick. If you go to multiple markers, that's part of the problem. It's rock cache and hunting area. Now I can modify the rock cache, I can name it something else, but this is where the moose lives. Alright, poor Astrid. He's like, shut up! Let me go to sleep! Still a little bit tired. I think we'll be alright though. There we go. Alright, let's go to the locker and start thinking of what truly matters and what's helpful. So I've got a bunch of tools down at the other end. I don't really need to bring these down with me, and that's 2.2 pounds I don't really need to mess with. This lantern's not in great shape. Spare tools, though, are never, spare hatchet and that kind of stuff is fine. Might get a couple of these flares for the exploration, have those around. All this food I can't eat right now anyway. The boots and the shoes I want to grab for the leather. And I'm going to see what's in here real quick. That's a decent lantern.
Man, this pack is getting kind of heavy.
Plenty of leather. Got some teas down here. I'll just leave those. Lots of tinder plugs. Grab some of those. And, alright. Leave that. And some of this stuff I'll just bring, I can tear apart. These can be turned into scrap metal. I have a bunch. Poor Astrid. We'll get that other hatchet. We'll get the good tools. Accelerant and the books. The rest of it I'm just going to leave here for now. I don't want any guts down here. Grab those.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Well, we're going to drag it. How about that? We'll see. We'll see if that helps. So I'm going to throw it all here in this travois and see how that works. I'm hoping I can move faster. And plus, I want to throw some meat in there too and get some of that back. We're going to put it to the test. Only at 50 pounds. This is awesome. Alright, I'm under at this point. Alright, let's grab some moose meat. I got plenty in here.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
And that meat's going to do way more good on my other end than down here. Plus, I'll be down here to shoot another moose at some point, which means more moose meat. So, we'll take it where it does me more good. I can't believe I'm still only up to 88 pounds. The only other thing I can think I could use to put the house is a little bit of this water, but then I just have to make water when I come here at some other point. I'm under. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Let me just. I'm good enough. I'm happy. If I had found a hacksaw at any point, I'd love to gather up some. Oh, I'd love to gather up some scrap metal. But so far, that's not happened. Nice. I was wondering if it was going to be a different, sound crossing something like a bridge or a road. Does it make noises over the railroad tracks? Thump, 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 thump. Oh. Yeah, that's probably not good for it, is it? Well, they did take the time to come up with something different for it, though. That's good. I'm a little torn. Happy to be dragging all this stuff. You probably can't run, right? Yeah. Happy to be dragging all this stuff. I certainly wouldn't have been able to get all this stuff back in one shot. Considering everything I already had in my pockets. And it would definitely, I mean, I'm definitely moving along just fine. So I've got like 160 pounds plus 170 some odd pounds worth of gear. You wouldn't even be able to move normally if you had that much stuff in your pockets. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell, but like I said, I don't think it's slowing me down very much. It does make the movement seem a little strange, though. And it seems like I'm, like, sliding. I'm skating or something. Skiing. Yeah, it's like I'm skiing. It's like the lowest grade downhill ever. You're just kind of cruising along. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing alright. I hope you're having a good day. Things going well in your lives. I appreciate you guys watching that last video. It's crazy how many of you guys checked out it. 5-hour video. But I assume you guys are breaking it up into pieces. And like I said, it was to put something out. I normally do something Monday mornings. I didn't have time today. It just moving takes a lot of time and effort. Some days I just want to sleep. I'm so worn out. Hey, Wolfies. So this would be problematic. I don't think you can walk with a torch in your hand and drag this travois. So that's one of the things that you're going to have to think about later on when you win an Ep and how you decide to move up from Pilgrim mode or passive enemies. Okay. Well, that tells me that. So yeah, there's no way you can walk with a torch. You certainly can't really toss them on the ground and chain them together. I can see in a circumstance where you could get in trouble and have to drop the travois, and you might even lose it and everything in it. So there's definitely, and it wears out super fast. I would say, I'm going to bet as a community, people are wanting that to be strengthened up just a little bit. Like I said, if I'm dragging this across ice or a road or railroad tracks, I would expect it would get beaten up faster than in the snow. But I feel like it's losing its durability pretty quickly here. I was hoping to make something that would be good for adventuring, but I'm starting to wonder if the sapling ratio, especially on something like Interloper where you need the bow to survive, Travois may not be the best thing. Making one maybe to move a base camp at some point, and then having one around to maybe drag meat around. You know, but... And that's another thing. If you drop it full of meat, do the wolves stay on it? I wouldn't think so. Hey, my deer's here. I don't really need it, do I? Yep, I've got snow pants and I've got insulated boots, so... I don't need to make the deerskin stuff right now. I think I will at some point, just to show you guys. But, I mean, you saw me make a moose hide. Yeah, I hear the ptarmigan. I think I see him. Again, if you're new, the hops make you move a little faster, but you still stay in stealth mode. Come on, dude. I'm going to try to get really close this time, and I feel like I've got a good bit of terrain. No way! How did that not hit? Pizza and the ptarmigan, y'all. My deadliest worst foe. Man, I'd like... You know what, though? Alright, so... What's next? Well, next for me is going to make dinner. In the next video, I'm going to finish up the prep here. We need to get the rabbit skin gloves and hat. Get this a little closer to the front door here. There we go. We'll get the rabbit skin gloves and hat going, and then what else do we need? I will make the improvised insulated bedroll. I'd love to get the insulation before I left, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. Maybe I'll carry some of the feathers in my pocket, the down, and if I get some along the way, I can make some along the way. I mean, they're feathers. They're not going to weigh much, right? But I feel like a good bit done today. I'm pretty happy with the episode. We got a good bit explored. We got the lake done. I mean, we've been pretty much everywhere on the map. There's a couple little spots and a couple little locations I haven't been to. The broken tower is one. And there's another little forest area that I can go look around. But for the most part, Mystery has been explored. And we've gathered pretty much most everything that we need here at our base camp, now that we've got the travois full of stuff here. So I'm feeling pretty good about leaving, is what I'm saying. So we get the gear together, we get the rabbit skin gloves and hat, and then anything else I need to get made, the sleeping bag. And then I think you guys, it's time to get out of here. I think it's time to go to a new region and start exploring there. And we spent about 22 days here. I figured it'll take another day or two to get all the stuff made, so almost a month before heading out. Now that's a luxury that you can have in Pilgrim mode that you necessarily wouldn't. I'd have been long gone in Interloper. I'd have spent like 3 or 4 days here and been out. But the luxury is also a benefit because we've had all this time to explore the map, get an idea where we are. We've actually been able to do some mapping, get some gear together, and get a good base put together with a lot of good stuff, all this meat now and all these good things. And we'll be able to survive even just here if we needed to for a while. But we've got a good spot to come back to and leave from to get to our exploration of the rest of the map. So I hope you guys had a good time watching today. I'm going to keep pumping these out whenever I can. I'm having fun with this series. It's nice to do something a little different. And just want to thank, like I said, thank everybody who's been watching. You guys are awesome. Most appreciated. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will be glad to leave your answer in the comments. All right, you guys, I got dinner to make. Hope you guys do well. I really hope you guys are having a great day and y'all be good to each other.